IndieGoGo and Kickstarter have caused a lot of problems for crowdfund creators in our circles in recent years. They've, of course, shadow banned a lot of campaigns. They've banned campaigns by Chuck Dixon and another fellow named Electric Dinosaur, who actually is the artist for Drunk 3PO's latest stuff that he's been doing on Ripascent. And also, IndieGoGo, of course, banned me under ridiculous circumstances where I was being harassed by a Comicsgate creator who kept emailing them, telling them, I'm doing horrible things, etc. And because he just harassed them so much, they took my account down. Now, this is pretty interesting because Gamefound now has acquired IndieGoGo, and this might be interesting because they are promising friendlier business terms and policies. Now, Kickstarter has much the same problem with just banning people on political circumstances. We've had Mike Barron have a project banned there. I got banned again. I got mass reported by Comicsgate people. You see the trend here? These people do not want to allow anybody to compete in their businesses, and that's exactly why we have to, of course, call out what they do all the time here. So this could be a very interesting thing, and I've actually reached out to Gamefound and gotten a little bit of a response. So I'm going to go over this and let you guys know what the situation is with IndieGoGo, which could be really good going forward, as Gamefound itself is a pretty good website, and I'll talk about that as well. So this is maybe a new day for independent comics. We'll see what happens. I am John Delarose, and I am doing things not just in crowdfunding, but I really am trying to cultivate comic book readership. It's very, very important. We gained a ton of new subscribers yesterday, so thank you so much, again, for supporting our Substack as we go along. What I noticed is that the webcomics community has a much healthier attitude towards comics, and it's because most of the people there just read, and they're readers who then get involved in a project, and they go, you know what, I really want to support and patronize this creator to help them be able to create and help them be able to just make their art. And so that's what we've been trying to build here on Substack. I've been posting Flying Sparks, my old superhero comic, which has glowing reviews, has sold over 5,000 copies, and has a Hugo Award-nominated editor who says this is the best superhero story of the last 10 years. If you haven't heard of it, well, it's because Comicsgate, of course, bans me from major platforms. Substack's a free speech platform, and that's exactly where we are going right here. It builds things so you can just read. It's not about variant cover fake stuff that's going on right here. It's about real stories with characters who develop with real heart that you're really going to enjoy. So this is in the description below. Sign up here, guys. We've also got exclusives. I've already putting up exclusive comics. I've got 2, Extrasensory and Astromancer, which are comics that are only available for my subscribers here and on Subscribestar. And so you can join a group of elite people who are reading the books that are nowhere else, which is really cool. So get on this, my friends. I appreciate you being here and appreciate you reading comics. That's what we're here for. And, of course, for new systems. This is in the description below. I also have a web store. If you do want my physical comics, that is available all the time to make sure that people can read again. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Do not miss the Substack, guys, in the description below. Thank you again. I say thank you a lot because I like everybody. I do. So this is what's happening. Tabletop crowdfunding website Gamefound has acquired IndieGoGo. They posted a blog about their acquisition. And so here's what we got on Gamefound. We're excited to share big news. IndieGoGo is joining forces with Gamefound. This marks the beginning of a new era of crowdfunding, one that's better for backers, better for creators, and full of fresh possibility. IndieGoGo is one of the original pioneers of crowdfunding. Yes, yes, yes. Now, they've been in trouble. What they're not saying here is IndieGoGo over the years has really shot themselves in the foot quite a bit. And so they, were positioned as the alternative to Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter's needed an alternative because there's been a lot of problems over there over the years where things have just not gone that well. And we needed some change. We really did. And so IndieGoGo seemed to be a decent alternative for a while. Then they started shadow banning people over politics, posting for Black Lives Matter and all the LGBTQ agenda stuff like all these companies do. And they got themselves into trouble. Now, they banned a campaign by Chuck Dixon called Alt Hero Q, and they did so after they'd already collected funds for it, refunded everybody after keeping the money for months, which is fraudulent behavior as they were, of course, causing problems. And there was a lawsuit that went on with that he had a huge settlement IndieGoGo had to pay out, and I know that cost them a lot of pain. Now, IndieGoGo, as a developer, had been underwater for a long, long time. They'd made the same mistakes as everybody else, hiring diversity hires and the like, to where they just caused problems for themselves over and over. And they were losing money. They were bleeding money. Things were not going well over there. Gamefound also is a kind of a crowdfunding site, but they do things a little bit differently. And how they started was a lot like BackerKit, where their kind of back-end support for things right here. And you can see that they've got their own crowdfunding stuff, but they've also got like once the crowdfunds are over, they act as like a little survey system to where people like have all their setups for their books and the like, where it's like they've got their fulfillment center and things like that, which was really, really nice. And they did a great job with this. Gamefound's one of the better sites out there in that regard. So Gamefound is like leaps and bounds above IndieGoGo. So pretty cool that they actually bought the company right here. So this is what they've got with a laser focus on user experience, because of course they'd focused on games, because tabletop games are a big part of crowdfunding. To power all IndieGoGo categories, Gamefound will remain dedicated to tabletop, but their campaigns will also be discoverable on IndieGoGo, which is cool for backers there. Backers will be able to log in using either IndieGoGo or Gamefound credentials, streamlining the experience, and IndieGoGo creators friendlier business terms and policies to support a stronger platform. And this is what's been having a problem over there. Very, very unfriendly business terms over there. And so this is great. This is a great time to be crowdfunding in a forward-facing industry, again, says the CEO of IndieGoGo. Gamefound's technology is unrivaled, and we're going to be thrilled to bring it to IndieGoGo's diverse community. Oh, boy. Together, we're making a crowdfunding more innovative, creator-friendly, and exciting than ever before. So let's see how this all ends up on this level. And there's tabletop projects and other categories as people are asking about this, because IndieGoGo is relaunched. They're going to get exclusive offers. Reach out to see where crowdfunding is going and want to be the first to be there. And so I actually messaged earlier today, and I was asking them about this. And is this the same person? No, different person. They're both named Julie. So somebody actually responded to me named Julie. It was not the CEO, but that's pretty funny. So I said, I left a message and said, I've been having problems with IndieGoGo. I love your deal. I've raised over $300,000 in crowdfunding projects. And IndieGoGo banned me under nebulous circumstances in 2021. Wouldn't tell me why. I was being harassed by another creator who was trying to take my business down. Will I be allowed to create campaigns under the new ownership? That would mean a lot to me. And they said immediately, they got back within an hour. Thank you for reaching out. We treat all creators equally. This is great. We conduct a review of their past activity. Based on that, we decide whether we will allow them to launch a project on the platform. In general, there is a chance for you to create projects, but I can't guarantee it at this stage. Depends on the outcome of the compliance team's background checks. And so I guess there's going to be a background check or something like that, but since I've been a good creator who's delivered and the like, there probably shouldn't be a problem unless they are going to be weighing in on political. We're going to find out soon. So I emailed back. I said, okay, how great. How can I get myself vetted on this front? Open up a campaign on IndieGoGo, ? So we will find out. Once I get an answer on how I can get myself vetted on this front, I will do so, and I will report back as to whether this is now a safe company or not based on their results here and what happens, because we have a real field test to prove once and for all what's happening with this already. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Do you trust IndieGoGo under Gamefound? I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, I like the Gamefound company in general. I've not made a campaign over there, but as a backer, it's a much better user experience than IndieGoGo and Kickstarter have had in the past. Love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. And please check out my Substack. It's in the description below. Read comics, support free speech. This is where it's at. Thanks for being here. And of course, I've got my web store as well. If you'd prefer to get physical books, thanks for reading.